When you're in the NBA, one thing that's very clear is that not everyone will be your biggest fan, and that it is inevitable for you to be criticized by older players. Sometimes they're just looking out for you, but it seems that this particular statement didn't get through to Ben Simmons, who had taken some hits from senior and basketball legend Shaquille O'Neal and wasted no time in retaliating. Curious to know what went down? Stay tuned as we unpack this, what Simmons has been up to, and more. Just a reminder about our new giveaway. We're giving away a PS5 with a copy of NBA 2K22 and Madden 22. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, and make sure you're subscribed. It's that simple. Shaq blasts Simmons. Prior to the 76ers hosting the Lakers just last Tuesday and winning 105-87, Shaquille O'Neal bashed Ben Simmons for having sat out multiple games, even calling him a crybaby who can't take any criticism. He made a comparison to Sixers sensation Joel Embiid, who is frequently attacked by O'Neal and Charles Barkley on Inside the NBA. Shaquille said that he stays on big guys because he cares about them and wants them to play on a certain level in a certain way. He said that the difference between Simmons and Embiid is that Embiid can take criticism without being a crybaby about it and still want to play. He added that he and Charles Barkley have Embiid on their radar and continue to, saying that they have both told him to his face what they think he needs to do, but he didn't cry about it and said he wanted to get traded. Also, adding that this is why he likes and respects Embiid, because he didn't complain and that he doesn't respect Simmons. On a recent episode of his Big Podcast, O'Neal expanded on his Simmons critique, explaining why his actions had historical ramifications for future generations of NBA stars. As said by Shaq on the Big Podcast, the way for Mike had been paved by Magic and that they weren't making any money. He said that Jordan paved the way for him and he in turn for Garnett. Ben, however, is messing things up. The ramifications of Simmons' actions extend beyond his personal pocket, the 76ers, and their title pursuit this season, according to Shaq. Aberrations like these tend to become a norm, something people will refer to when characterizing NBA stars, and given how fans currently describe today's NBA players, any behavior that may potentially lead people to identify them as soft any more than they already do is undesirable. However, there may be more to the story based on what Simmons did next. Simmons' retaliation via Twitter. It's clear that Ben Simmons had heard what Shaq had said about him because he later, according to Shaq, sent him a Twitter DM confronting him about his comments. Shaq declined to divulge the specifics of Simmons' text, but he did share that he decided to take a few steps back and back off his LSU brother. This show of compassion was definitely interesting to see, especially since he was very harsh to Simmons only a day earlier. Shaq explained and said that he said what he did at the time because he's seen the greatest get and be criticized. He added that his late father told him that in criticism for respectable people, there's always truth. During the height of his free throw struggles, O'Neal faced a similar situation. Many were tough on him, but as the Hall of Famer noted, O'Neal kept missing free throws in the charity stripe, leaving him with nothing to respond to his detractors. The same can be said about Simmons, who has every right to be chastised for his performance and how he is handling the matter. But depending on O'Neal's decision, there's more to it than meets the eye. Diesel hasn't spoken about it and has said he has no plans to do so in the future. He just stated that he will leave Simmons' situation alone. In the midst of a barrage of abuse aimed at Simmons, Shaq's statements apparently struck Ben differently, and he felt compelled to answer. Everything he said to O'Neal provided a fresh perspective on the situation, which was enough to sway Shaq's opinion. The question is, why isn't he doing it in public? For months, we've been hearing rumors from various sources close to the matter about what triggered Simmons' sit-out campaign, and the broad information we are getting is undeniably correct. But now, it could be time to hear from Ben himself. According to Shaq's change of heart, it could be worth it. What Simmons has been up to. Simmons has yet to play in a game this season after requesting a trade during a summer holdout. Later, he missed training camp and informed the Sixers that he was not mentally prepared to play. But the Sixers, who are 30-21 sans Simmons, are doing more than just surviving. Thanks to Embiid and the ever-improving performance of Tyrese Maxey, Simmons' replacement at the point, Philadelphia began Thursday in third place in the Eastern Conference, a game and a half behind the first-place Bulls. The Cameroonian had a double-double, 27 points and 14 rebounds, in Wednesday's 106-103 defeat of the Wizards, and is averaging a career-high 29.1 points, 10.8 rebounds, and 4.4 assists. Last year, Embiid agreed to a 4-year, $196 million Supermax contract deal. Simmons' feud with the Sixers began after the Sixers were ousted from the playoffs in 7 games by the Hawks in June. The point guard had a historically terrible offensive performance and was allegedly upset with how Embiid and Sixers coach Doc Rivers handled questions about him following the game. According to ESPN, Simmons has been watching every Sixers game and working out secretly at the team's practice facility in Camden, New Jersey. He apparently attends team shoot-arounds and film sessions to avoid a fine, but he isn't ready to return, at least not as a 76ers player. As the February February 10th trade deadline approaches, all eyes are certainly on the 76ers. Trade rumors regarding Simmons. As we inch closer to the February 10th trade deadline, coverage of the Ben Simmons saga in Philadelphia has escalated. On Tuesday, ESPN's Ramona Shelburne described the conflict's many facets, including the fact that Simmons has lost $19 million by sitting out to this point and would lose a stunning $32 million if he sat out the rest of the season. If Simmons is not dealt before the deadline, there is speculation that he and the 76ers could meet. If it comes to this, the Sixers will undoubtedly enter that conversation in the hopes of persuading Simmons to return to the court. All indications are that Simmons has no intention of doing so. He'll eat the cash. He wishes to be traded. Of course, Philly would be thrilled to trade Simmons, but Daryl Morey is pursuing a premium price that he hasn't shown a willingness to bend on. He wants an all-star as the cornerstone of any package. Leaving aside all of the obvious top-tier talents who aren't available, there's really a small list of targets. Bradley Beal, unsurprisingly, is on that list, according to The Atlantic, and that same story also indicates that Beal is now unsure about his future with the Wizards. However, there is one caveat to a prospective deal. The Sixers are still looking for extra prospects. Philadelphia has made no secret of the fact that Beal is on the short list of players for whom the Sixers would consider trading disgruntled guard Ben Simmons, who has sat out the whole season. According to league sources, the 76ers will not offer an extra component, such as promising rookie player Tyrese Maxey, along with Simmons in a hypothetical deal for Beal. Philly has also stated that it will not include third-year forward Matisse Thybulle, a fantastic wing defender, in a Simmons deal. You may recall that the Sixers' reluctance to include Maxey in a prospective trade for James Harden may have stymied that deal. There are several gaps to fill up there. Perhaps Morey, who was initially opposed to incorporating Maxey and was apparently looking for a third team to assist broker the deal, was prepared to include Maxey at the last minute, but the Rockets just preferred the Brooklyn deal. Perhaps Houston was never going to do business with Morey, its previous general manager, in the first place, and was simply using Philly's offer as leverage. In any case, if Morey doesn't want to include Maxey in a deal for Harden, he certainly doesn't want to include him in a deal for Beal. With Simmons leaving, it's understandable that Philly would want to keep Thybulle, giving the two are the team's finest and most flexible perimeter defenders. But after all, beggars can't be choosers, can they? Morey will need more than Simmons to find a genuine difference maker. The market has demonstrated this, and Beal may be the final realistic target of his caliber. Is Harden actually coming to Philadelphia in the offseason? There are options for Philly to clear their cap space and sign him as a free agent, or a sign and trade with Simmons heading to the Nets might be arranged. Damian Lillard's a very long shot. Who else could we possibly be talking about? What about Jaylen Brown? It's a difficult decision. We admire Maxey as much as the next guy, and Beal's a flight risk this summer as an unrestricted free agent. He has a $36.4 million player option. But for the sake of discussions, imagine the Wizards agree to a deal for Simmons and Beal's prepared to commit to Philly long term. Would Morey really allow Maxey to stand in the way of that trade? We typically have an opinion on things, but we're not sure we do on this situation. Was the criticism well deserved or not? Let us know all your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more.